Hello, I am Pierre Filmon, a French guy. Here in Panama, I have the honor to have been invited to present a film I made called Close Encounters with Vilmos Zsigmond, a documentary about a great master in cinematography. As many stories in cinema, it starts in a movie theater. You're sitting there and watching a movie and expecting to be moved, shocked, amazed. That's the hope you always have. And sometimes you're indifferent to the film, sometimes you're amazed. And in a length of time very short in France, I discovered a series of masterpieces of the American cinema of the 70s. Films like Deliverance by John Boorman, Close Encounters of the Third Kind by Spielberg, The Deer Hunter by Michael Cimino, or McKay vs. Miller by Robert Altman, masterpieces of American cinema. And each time I was watching this film, there was one credit that amazed me. It was cinematographer Vilmos Zsigmond. Cinematographer Vilmos Zsigmond. Say, who's this guy? And what's that? Cinematographer. What does it mean? What's the thing? And I realized that this guy's work was to deal with the image of the film, with the style, the visual style of the film. And that what struck me very much in those films. Of course, the actors are great, the script is fantastic, the director is excellent, but there was something more, like something that was speaking to my soul, that touched me very deeply, and that was beyond all those qualities. And it was with the image. But I couldn't really understand, because it's rarely that you see critics or anyone discussing about the image of a film. Everyone has an opinion about the script, the direction, or the acting, but about the image. What do you think about the image? It's a mood, it's a style, it's something more. So it's quite hard to find words to describe that. So it interested me very much to go deeper into this. And years later, I was lucky enough to meet Darius Khondji, another great cinematographer. Became friend. He made Seven by David Fincher. And we became good friends, and he told me, I wrote a script to be shot in America, and he told to me, who would you like to meet as a cinematographer for your film? I said, Vilmos Zsigmond is my dream. So he sent my script to Vilmos, and 4 days later, Vilmos said, I want to be your cinematographer. Just imagine the shock for me. So we met, and when we met, I not only met the man who was a hero for me as a professional, but he became a hero in real life. I really felt close to him, and I told him immediately, waiting to make this film together, I'd like to make a film about you. And he immediately said, okay. I think this interview should last 2 hours for me to explain you the difficulties I had to achieve this film. But thanks to the generosity of Vilmos, I was lucky to bring in the project talents like John Travolta, like Isabelle Huppert, John Boorman, or Peter Fonda that agreed for free to be in my film, because it was not a low-budget film, it was a no-budget film. I had no money. So obviously you have no money, so problems start. Sometimes problems arise when you have money, but I cannot talk about this. I just can't talk about a no-budget film. And of course there were problems, but it was always possible to go over those problems because Vilmos trusted me completely. I felt extremely grateful and also very much responsible for what I had to do because of this trust. Before him and before the 70s in America, studio system, film costed a lot, but it was an industry. It was working very well, but it costed millions, and it was in a very structured industrial world that they were making those films. And he came from Europe, and the American cinema was changing under the European revolution of images of the 60s, the Nouvelle Vague in France, the Neorealism in Italy a bit earlier. And then the American producer said, okay, let's try to do those films that are different, that it's shot in the street, outside, not in the studio. And Vilmos was very instrumental in this, that he took the cameras out of the studio. Making a film is like launching a bottle in the sea. You never know what happens. You're always hoping that someone on a beach will grab the bottle and open it and find a message. And if it's a kid at the other side of the world that will open something in his mind, that's great. It's just this, being able to give something to the people, and who wants to receive it. You're welcome. But if you're touched by my film, then I feel that I've succeeded. Oh, yeah, more than ever. I'm able here in Panama to watch many Panamanian films, and I see an industry, a youth that is rising here, and it's extremely exciting to be a testimony of this. You know, in France we have a long history of cinema, in Brazil, in Italy, in the States, in India they have hundreds of people making stories. So you could ask yourself, is it worth? I mean, you would be the 1000th to do a film. You can say, okay, but and here it's so energetic and creative to be here, because you feel all this young blood coming and having the desire to tell stories. And I think that is the future. People from here, people from countries that you do not expect, that will bring something and that you've never seen before. Countries that you've never seen, problematics, new things. And sure, it's necessary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.